It is so nice to see that good movies can still come out in the month of January. That's what I'm here to talk to you about today. I'm here to talk to you about Guy Ritchie's latest, The Gentleman. That's gentlemen, not gentleman. Gentlemen, plural. See, when I first saw the trailers for this movie, I thought it was saying The Gentleman, like one person, but no, this is a number of people. This movie does kind of have an all-star cast, especially with Matthew McConaughey and Hugh Grant and Charlie Hunnam. Just some really great performances from all of them, obviously. I've never seen Charlie Hunnam this cold and calculating and downright scary. And talking about scary, Matthew McConaughey's character is absolutely terrifying. This may be the most terrifying I have seen Matthew McConaughey since Killer Joe. This film follows the story of an American expat who has set up a weed-growing empire in the UK. That's another thing I really like about it. It's a British gangster flick. They're a whole other breed of gangster flicks all by themselves. You know, last year we got The Irishman from Martin Scorsese, which was a fantastic movie. So far this year we've gotten a new British gangster movie from Guy Ritchie. They really balance each other out. They're very different films. Easily, probably the best part of this movie is the dialogue. The dialogue almost makes me feel like I'm watching a Quentin Tarantino movie because it's very quick, it's very intelligent, it's very snappy, and, you know, because I'm not British, there's a lot of British idioms and colloquialisms that I have to kind of stop and think about. What does that mean? And fortunately, for the most of this movie, I was able to understand everything, but there's a couple scenes with a few like little non-important characters that I just about needed subtitles for because the way they were speaking. I was like, was that English? I know it was English, but just not to my ears it wasn't. As I said before, Matthew McConaughey is absolutely terrifying in this movie, but one of the things I love the most about it is the relationship between his character and his wife. In a lot of gangster movies, the wife is kind of, you know, off to the side, not really into the whole business, you know, of whatever her husband is doing. But in this case, they are perfectly matched because they are equally as vicious. Both of them are absolutely cold-blooded, and so it's a really interesting dynamic in that respect. And Charlie Hunnam's character is actually another one of my favorites because he is kind of unsuspecting. Like, he's really cold and very straight-laced. I think they actually hint to his character having OCD in this film. But there are times where he just absolutely kind of goes off the rails, and those are some of the most fun parts of the movie, I think. Hugh Grant also does a fantastic job as this reporter kind of a guy who's like basically kind of blackmailing or trying to blackmail the Pearson crime organization by attempting to sell a screenplay based on this guy's life. Hugh Grant's character is just so slimy and so just you want to like him, but at the same time you just know it's like this guy's a real piece. He's gonna try and screw over whoever he can to get ahead, to get what he wants. One of the most refreshing things about this movie is how it is not a sequel, it is not based on a comic book, it is not family friendly at all. This movie is a hard R. It's foul language, it's blood and violence, and not a ton of sexual content in it. I find it very refreshing that films like this can still get made. It doesn't have to be a guaranteed billion-dollar seller. It doesn't have to be part of an established cinematic universe. It can just be a standalone gangster flick, gangster comedy that really doesn't care about your feelings or what you find offensive or things like that. I guess it's just a difference between British English and American English, but they use certain words a lot in conversation. I probably heard certain words in this film more than I have in entire series in the past. Guy Ritchie just did what he wanted to do. He made the movie he wanted to make, and I love that. So with all that being said, I'm going to say I really recommend you go see The Gentleman. If this seems like your kind of movie, if you've seen the trailers like I did and went, that looks like fun, go see it. You won't regret it. So with all that being said, Guy Ritchie, can we please get another Sherlock Holmes movie? I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is done with being Iron Man. I appreciate he's been Iron Man for 10 years. I really like that. But I would really like another Sherlock Holmes movie. Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows is one of the few times I think a sequel actually outdoes the original. So, yeah, if you could get on that. So if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, do me a favor, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I'm doing my best to keep this channel updated as much as possible. And if you enjoy listening to two idiots talk about movies, I recommend you check out the Cinematic Blind Spots podcast. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, all kind of stuff. Just about anywhere you listen to podcasts. That's Cinematic Blind Spots. So with all that, I will say thank you and good night. I will see you on my next video.